Welcome back to another episode of Quick Picks with the Geek. I am your host, Bro Power the Geek. All right, next up we've got Mario Pinto versus Felipe Franco. And this one is a classic case of undefeated prospect versus another prospect whose record might need a little auditing. Let's break it down. Mario Pinto, coming in as a minus 550 favorite with a record of 11-0. Mario Pinto is one of those heavyweight prospects who fights completely different from what people expect in the division. Because when people hear heavyweight, they expect two guys swinging haymakers like they're trying to chop down a tree. Pinto doesn't do that. He's a wrestling heavy grinder, and honestly, that's one of the smartest styles you can have at heavyweight. His bread and butter is chain wrestling. Pinto does a great job timing double legs, pressing opponents against the cage, and then slowly wearing them down with control and ground pressure. Once he gets on top, he's extremely difficult to shake off. He's the kind of fighter who will happily spend 10 straight minutes making your life miserable, while the commentators politely call it dominant positional control. Another thing that separates him from most heavyweights is his cardio. Pinto actually has a gas tank, which at heavyweight is rare enough that it almost deserves its own award. He's gone to decisions in nearly half his fights, which means he's comfortable fighting deep into the third round while still maintaining pressure. And training-wise, he's surrounded by serious talent. Pinto works with KHK MMA and Team Nogueira, sparring with high-level fighters like Johnny Walker and Jailton Almeida. That kind of training environment tends to fast-track development pretty quickly. But Pinto does have some limitations. The biggest one is finishing power. For a heavyweight, he's not really a one-shot knockout artist. He's more of a slow cooker, someone who breaks opponents down over time rather than detonating them with a single punch. He's also still relatively untested against elite-level heavyweights. Most of his wins have come on the regional scene, so the big question moving forward is how his wrestling holds up against the absolute monsters in the top tier. Still, stylistically, he's a nightmare for fighters who rely on striking. Felipe Negón Franco, coming in as a plus 390 underdog with a record of 10-1. Now Felipe Franco is the exact opposite type of fighter. He comes from shoot box, which historically means two things. Number one, constant forward pressure. Number two, someone is probably getting elbowed in the face within the next 30 seconds. Franco is extremely aggressive. All 10 of his wins have come by finish, 6 knockouts and 4 submissions, which means if he wins, the judges usually don't even need to show up for work. He's dangerous everywhere. On the feet, he throws heavy Muay Thai combinations and brutal knees in the clinch. On the ground, he's a very opportunistic grappler who looks to attack the neck or jump on the back if someone gives him even a small opening. And like a lot of shootbox fighters, he tends to start fights extremely fast. Most of his wins come in the first round before opponents can really settle in. But there's a pretty big elephant in the room when it comes to Franco's record. Before his Contender Series fight, he was 8-0. Sounds impressive, until you look at the competition. If you remove Nilton dos Santos, who has a record of 19-16, the combined record of Franco's opponents was 0-10. 0 wins. None. Not one. That means he built most of his undefeated record fighting people who had literally never won a fight, which is not exactly the most terrifying resume. It's the MMA equivalent of bragging that you're undefeated in a video game after playing on tutorial difficulty. Then he goes on Contender Series, loses, and afterwards fights a guy who was 10-7 and another who was 1-1. Again, not exactly a murderer's row. And when you watch some of those fights, he looks like he's 2 weight classes bigger than the people he's fighting. So while Franco clearly has finishing ability and aggressive offense, there are very real questions about how his skills translate against legitimate competition, and this matchup is going to test that. So who wins? If Franco wins this fight, it likely happens early. His aggressive striking and submission threats could create chaos in the opening minutes before Pinto has time to settle into his wrestling game. But if Pinto wins, the path is pretty clear. Use the wrestling. Close the distance, drag Franco to the mat, and turn this fight into a grinding control battle where Franco never really gets a chance to unleash his explosive offense. And historically, wrestlers tend to do very well against aggressive finishers who rely on early momentum. Official pick, I'm going with Mario Pinto. Until Franco beats someone that I consider a legitimate, proven fighter, it's hard for me to trust the record. Pinto's wrestling, cardio, and ability to control where the fight takes place should give him a clear advantage in this matchup. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and smash that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a beat when the next video drops. And don't be shy. Leave a comment below and let me know who you got winning this fight. Let's see who really has the crystal ball around here. Until next time.